The Red Raiders are scheduled to host two major portal targets this weekend, including a transfer Power 5 big. In today's video, we'll discuss that and, well, let's not act like we're under a rock here, people. We'll discuss Grant McCasland a bit too in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And listen, I get it. I would be remiss not to address the elephant in the room, and that is Grant McCasland. Now, at the time of this recording, it is Wednesday night, April 10th. There has been no news about Scott Drew potentially leaving to Kentucky. Now, we do know that Baylor is set, if Scott Drew does leave for Kentucky, to prioritize Grant McCasland. That according to Trilly Donovan in his Discord channel. But as of right now, this is what we know. Grant McCasland is the head coach of Texas Tech men's basketball, and the Red Raiders are set to have two major portal targets on campus this weekend. Of course, we will keep you up to date on everything that changes, if anything changes at all, when it comes to the head man of Texas Tech men's basketball. But as of right now, he is the head coach, and we will discuss the two major transfer portal targets in today's video that are set to go to the 806 for official visits. Now, if you want to stay in the know on everything Texas Tech men's basketball all year long, 100% completely free, and join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, do these three simple steps for me. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. All right, let's jump into the first of the two major transfer portal targets. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. If y'all subscribe to SBI, which you 100% should, because they were the ones that broke the news here in terms of the first official visits. Austin Massey, Jacob Harris, and myself were the ones that broke that news. Shout out to Austin. He's done a great job at reporting transfer portal targets, as well as Jacob. Now, Kevin Overton has been a guy since he has been connected to Texas Tech. I have fallen in love with his game, and he is set to go on an official visit to Texas Tech this weekend as it stands right now. He is a 6'5" guard from Drake that has 3 years of eligibility left and actually has a connection to the Texas Tech coaching staff with assistant Luke Barnwell, who was his coach in high school at Sunrise Christian up in Kansas. Overton is a long, versatile player on both ends of the court. He is an absolute sniper when it comes to shooting from the outside, ranked almost 80th percentile nationally when it came to spot up jumpers in terms of points per possession. He understands spacing well, and he can guard 1 through 3, if not 1 through 4. And to me, when I look at him, he can be a primary ball handler at times, although I think he's better off the ball. But in the pick and roll setting, I think he can be a really solid primary ball handler for certain sets if he were to wear the scarlet and black. Now, for me, watching his film, right, he is a lights out spot up shooter that I think would absolutely thrive off the ball for Texas Tech. I've mentioned this several times, and it's almost a running joke over on the Scarlet and Black Insider, and I'll have the details for you to subscribe to that down in the description and in the comments below. So join the fastest growing Texas Tech community on the internet over there on the Scarlet and Black Insider. But Overton is my favorite player that Texas Tech has been connected to in the transfer portal, because I truly believe, watching him play at Drake last year and his highlights and just a lot of his film in general, he has the potential to be an all-conference type player if he were to come to Texas Tech. Now, would it happen right away in his sophomore year like Darion Williams? I'm not so sure about that. But as a junior, as a senior, I truly believe you could be talking about a guy that's wearing the scarlet and black that would end up being an all-conference type player for the Red Raiders. I am extremely excited about the possibility of him coming out to the 806. And again, I know I've said it 3 times now. Who cares? He is my favorite player that Texas Tech has targeted in the transfer portal so far. All right, let's get into the surprise one, in terms of not a lot of people knew that Texas Tech was targeting him, and I don't think a lot of people knew that he was actually in the portal. But it's Federico, a center from Pittsburgh. He measures out at 6'11", 225, 230, depending on what site you look at. He is originally from Finland. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. He is an older athletic big, actually 22 years old, but is a legit lob threat and has excellent hands around the rim. He understands spacing for his size in terms of his skill set as well, at a very high level. He's not going to be a guy that can really shoot from, let's be honest, 7 feet away from the basket, but he's going to make an impact around the rim, not only making shots, whether that's a dunk or a layup, but also on the glass. So he's a guy that really stands out in that regard. He also stands out on the defensive end and how athletic he is, not only down close to the rim, but also on the perimeter, where he has a 7.1% block rate and is mobile enough to guard guards out on the perimeter if need be. I mentioned him being a good rebounder. He has an 11.7% offensive rebound rate, according to Synergy. The area that I don't think really stands out as much as it potentially could, because if I'm being honest, I think Pitt did an awful job of using him in this regard, is the pick and roll. I think he's a really good screener that I think was used in a really bad way up at Pitt. I think if he was to play for Grant McCasland out in the 806, that Grant McCasland has proven at every stop he's been at that he uses bigs in a very good way in terms of the pick and roll. And this guy's a good screener that is experienced in a Power 5 conference. He's actually started 53 games the past 2 years up there in Pittsburgh. And oh, by the way, in the pick and roll numbers, he ranks 64th percentile in terms of what he does from a screener in a role perspective in the pick and roll. I think that would go up closer to the 80th percentile. He's that kind of guy just because of how good he is as a screener. Now, an interesting point that I forgot to mention in this sense is that he is from Finland, and one might deduce that he would know other Texas Tech basketball player at the moment, Amelia Lahu, right? So you have that in the fact of maybe they know each other from that perspective, and that was Texas Tech in terms of getting him out to the 806, almost like Warren Washington was the in for the Red Raiders to get Devin Cambridge out to the 806. But in terms of what I think he could potentially be for the Red Raiders, I truly believe you're looking at a potential instant plug and play 5 in terms of he could be a starter. And if not a starter, he could play high minutes and be a really good guy in terms of a duo in the front court for the Red Raiders, where he's the legitimate 5 and plays close to 20 to 25 minutes a game. He's that kind of guy. As I previously mentioned, in a heavy pick and roll system like Grant McCasland likes to run, I really think Federico would thrive. I truly believe they were using him, quite frankly, awfully at Pitt last year in the pick and roll. I think he would be much better. And again, another aspect that stands out that I know Texas Tech fans will love to hear is his offensive rebounding rate of 11.7%. Anything over 10, you're doing pretty damn good when it comes to that in terms of the O-board rankings, according to Synergy. So those are the two guys that will be on campus as of right now for the Red Raiders for official visits. Again, Kevin Overton of Drake, a 6'5 guard, and then you've got Federico, a 6'11 center from Pittsburgh. Now, again, if you want to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech and join one of the largest groups of Texas Tech fans on the internet today, head on over to the Scarlet Black Insider. We're keeping you up to date instantly on everything Texas Tech as soon as the news drops, whether that's, well, on a potential coaching search, whether that's in the portal, and everything in between. We've got you covered, so go join my guys, Austin, Jacob, and, well, I guess myself too, and hundreds of other Red Raiders over there on the Scarlet and Black Insider. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video, smash that subscribe button, and smash that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel.